Welcome to TravelGoals, where we'll help you pick up your travel game by giving you some relevant travel tips, hacks, and information on travel destinations worldwide. In today's video, we're going to take you on a tour through the 10 best places to visit in Egypt. Egypt is home to some of the most stunning natural features in the world, and it's home to some of the most amazing history and architecture imaginable. It has fertile lands, sandy beaches, the Nile River, mountains, and deserts with dunes reaching up to 800 feet high. Make sure to watch to the end because we're going to show you the hidden gem of Egypt. Also, hitting the like button and subscribing to our YouTube channel lets us know, as you know, that you enjoy our videos. So tap that bell icon, turn the notifications so that you know when new videos are released. And let's get started. Number 10. Luxor. Luxor is a touristic place due to the many archaeological sites in the area. First up, the Luxor Temple. This temple is a prime example of how a pharaoh's ego can get completely out of control. The temple was expanded through its existence by various kings, and the temple is divided into several sections. Right at the entrance, you'll find the obelisk of Ramses II, and as you walk into the temple, you'll find yourself in the Grand Colonnade area, surrounded by giant pillars. The Valley of the Kings is one of the country's most famous tourist sites. It's full of ancient tombs, pits, and burial chambers that archaeologists have restored over time. Some of the most impressive royal tombs in the Valley of the Kings are the tomb of Tutankhamun, which is the burial place of Tutankhamun, a pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. The tomb of Ramses V and VI, where you'll be able to see some of the most well-preserved colored wall carvings still intact, and the tomb of Seti I, one of the longest, deepest, and most beautifully decorated tombs in the Valley of Kings. Karnak Temple is another must-visit large temple complex that's not too far away from Luxor City. Right at the entrance of Karnak Temple, you're going to be greeted with lines of ram-headed sphinx statues on both sides. Within the temple, you will find the Great Hypostyle Hall, a large hallway with more than 130 columns arranged in 16 rows. It's gonna take your breath away. The Temple of Hatshepsut is said to be one of the most fascinating places in Egypt. And if you're interested in the process of mummification, or how the ancient Egyptians mastered the art of preserving the dead, the Mummification Museum is the place for you. It contains more than 400 mummies from around the world. So we highly recommend you go on a hot air balloon ride over Luxor. Watch the sunrise from above and enjoy the breathtaking views of Luxor, and all of its ancient temples and tombs. Number 9. Cairo. The capital city of Egypt is one of the largest cities in Africa. The city has a lot to offer tourists, whether you're into history, nature, art, religion, or architecture. Cairo is a place far from boredom, and it's at the peak of fun, you could say, and amusement. Cairo is a pretty popular starting point for cruises up the Nile and for explorations of the pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza. The pyramids of Giza are the world's biggest and most recognizable pyramid formations. There are 3 main pyramids: the Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the Pyramid of Menkaure. And if you just can't get enough of them pyramids, you can also take a day trip from Cairo to the pyramids of Saqqara, or Dahshur pyramids. Spread across Cairo, you will find almost 1,000 mosques. The more than 11 centuries old Ibn Tulun Mosque is considered by many to be one of the most beautiful mosques in the world. Other beautiful mosques are the Ibrahim Agha Mustafizan Mosque, the Blue Mosque, the Al-Azhar Mosque, the Mosque Madrasa, and the Mosque of Muhammad Ali. More places in Cairo that are definitely worth a visit include Sharia el-Muiz Street, Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi Castle, Khan el-Khalili Market, Hanging Church al-Mualaka, and the Egyptian Museum. Number 8. Alexandria. Alexandria is the second largest city in Egypt after Cairo. It's noted for many beautiful things, like street art, beautiful scenery, historic sites, and so many fun activities. Staying in an inland country like Egypt might have you forget the feeling of fresh air, feeling hot sand under your feet, and enjoying boat cruises. A trip to Alexandria is going to spark those dopamines and memories again. This is because this city is on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, where you can watch boats pull into the port, ride around on the harbor, then see some seagulls flying overhead. This view is going to make you marvel. Some unmissable things to see in Alexandria include Citadel Van Kaibe, Sufi El Mursi Abul Abbas, Stanley Bridge, Pompey's Pillar, Roman Theater, and lastly the Catacombs of Qom el-Shokafa. A day of culture sniffing is not complete, of course, without a museum visit. The National Museum and the Greco-Roman Museum are very highly recommended. The National Museum contains the best collection of ancient Egyptian artifacts in Egypt. And if you still have time after all these must-sees, go for a stroll through the beautiful gardens of the Montassa Palace, or go shopping in the Souk district. Before we go any further, I got a fun little quiz for you. In a small place in Egypt, it's very normal to keep very dangerous pets. Do you know which one? A. Snakes, B. Crocodiles, or C. Scorpions? You'll find out the answer further on in the video, so let's just keep moving. Number 7. Port Said. Port Said is a port city located in northeastern Egypt, at the northern city of the Suez Canal. Port Said's most famous attraction is its salt mountains, which are visible from pretty far away as you approach the city by train or by car, along with many other picturesque scenes along your journey, including palm trees lining both sides of the roadways leading into town, as well as huge buildings being built right up against each other's backsides. You might also want to visit Port Faoud Grand Mosque, an important religious site in the Islamic world. In addition to its architectural design, this place has an enormous capacity, allowing hundreds of thousands to pray at once. It also doesn't matter if you're Muslim or not. The mosque welcomes everyone and anyone who wants to visit it. It's worth a trip from pretty much any corner of the world, I'd say, to honestly just see how amazing it looks, if nothing else. The Port Said Military Museum portrays the history of the armed forces from their inception to the present day, featuring many valuable pieces of equipment and military memos. Number 6. Hurghada. Hurghada is a popular beach resort on the Red Sea coast of Egypt. The town has over 20 kilometers of pristine beaches, making it one of the most important tourist spots in the region. It can be reached by air or land from Cairo or Luxor airports. It's been designated as an official Red Sea Riviera resort with its airports, hotels, and other facilities for tourists and businesses that have been set up here because it's so beautiful and peaceful. There are so many things to do here, like snorkeling, windsurfing, and jet skiing, and that's just like 3 things. There's so many different things that you can do at Hurghada. You can also go on glass-bottom boat trips around coral reefs, where there is plenty of colorful marine life just swimming around below you. There's also Al Mina Mosque, which is definitely worth visiting, if not only because it's like right next door, and it's also free to go to. In addition to all this, there's an aquarium where you can see some exotic fish and dolphins that swim below your feet in a large glass tank. Number 5. Marsa Alam. Marsa Alam is a small town in the Red Sea Governorate of Egypt, situated on the west coast of the Red Sea, on the Gulf of Suez. This town is also called the Egyptian Maldives because of its pure waters and its sandy beaches. Marsa Alam is a very popular diving destination. There's over 30 dive sites in the Marsa Alam area, and several more that are within easy reach by boat. I recommend that you check out Abu Dhabi Bay. Turtles are a pretty common sight amongst the beach. You can also find marine wildlife that you don't see every day here, like octopus, crocodile fish, dugong, and so on. And lastly, Al Naizak. I bet a finger you've never thought that a place like this exists in the real world. It's seriously like a magical scene out of a lake extending from the seaside with transparent blue waters. It's really difficult to find this degree of purity anywhere in the world. Number 4. The Sahara. This desert passes through 10 African countries, and it almost covers the whole of North Africa. The lowest point, which is below sea level, is the Qattara Depression in Egypt. It's covered with salt pans, dunes, and salt marshes. Sand sheets and dunes cover over 25% of the Sahara's surface. Some of the dune piles you would find might reach over 500 feet tall. These rare sites look pretty awesome when they're captured on camera, and are considered special because we don't get to see them every day. From various places like Cairo and Luxor, you can explore this special world on foot, by camel, quad, or by car. Located in Western Sahara is the Black Desert, a vast land with widely spaced mounds. The mountains have volcano shapes with the tops covered in a layer of black powder. Black rocks with soft peaks have been dulled by the winds over the years. And if you climb one of these rocks so you can have an amazing once-in-a-lifetime breathtaking sight, it takes about 4 to 5 hours to reach this desert from Cairo. It's also close to the White Desert. The White Desert is a small area in the Western Desert known as Sahara el-Baida. This national park has several different features that make it stand out from other sites. Once, the ocean covered this area, but the water has disappeared, And the salt and coral, though, remained. They petrified. Huge coral rocks, sometimes several feet high, are scattered like white pillars in the salty white sand. It's pretty magical. Number 3. Aswan. Aswan is a city in Egypt on the banks of the Nile. It's one of the most beautiful places in Egypt. It is the city of canals, temples, and monuments that date back to ancient Egypt. You can explore the city on foot or take a felucca, similar to a traditional boat. We highly recommend taking a boat trip to the Nubian village, passing by famous islands like Kitchener and Elephantine Island. The Nubian villages are the most colorful and feel-good villages in the entire country. And in between the colorful homes, you'll be able to have fun and learn about the Nubian culture, traditions, food, and lifestyle. Find locals offering souvenirs, henna tattoos, and mint tea, and come closer to the crocodiles. Crocodiles represent an important physical totem of blessings in Nubian culture and belief. And in modern times, they're also bringing in some tourist dollars. Therefore, the reptiles can be found as pets in many Nubian villages. So yep, the answer was B. Aswan has several attractions, including the Aswan High Dam, which was built in the 1960s to control the flow of water into Egypt. The dam is one of the largest in the world, and it provides electricity for a lot of Africa. A day trip to Abu Simbel is a must-see for every tourist. Abu Simbel is a rock temple that was built by Ramses II in honor of himself and his wife. The temple was moved to higher ground in the 1960s when raising waters from the construction of the Aswan High Dam threatened to flood the temple. Also, the Temple of Philae and Kubet el-Hawa Mosque are definitely worth a visit if you're in Aswan. Lastly, the unfinished obelisk is a perfect place for keen historians and nature lovers too. This obelisk was carved from the bedrock, but when cracks were found on the granite, the project was abandoned. If completed, the weight would have equaled that of 200 elephants. Number 2. Sinai. Sinai is a peninsula in Egypt that connects Asia with Africa. Sinai is known for its beautiful beaches and warm weather. It's also home to Sharm el-Sheikh, one of the best scuba diving spots in the world. So don't miss the chance to snorkel or dive in these extraordinary reefs around Tehran Island and Ras Mohammed National Park, home to some astonishingly colorful marine life. Sinai is also known for its safari tours in desert areas like Dahab Sinai Desert. From camel safaris, jeep safaris, and even boat safaris, there is no better way to visit all the major sites and hotspots in Dahab. Only a short drive from Dahab in Ras Mohammed National Park, you'll find one of Sinai's most spectacular natural wonders, the Colored Canyon. A maze of colorful rock formations with a depth of 98 feet and a length of 2,624 feet. Characterized by the vibration and silence, this destination derives its name from the multicolored layers of rocks. Mount Sinai is the most famous mountain in Sinai. It's particularly important and a sacred place in Egypt. The mountain reaches a height of 7,497 feet, and it's located in a southern part of the Sinai Peninsula. For those who want to try a new experience, it's very recommended to climb the mountains and admire the natural beauty of Egypt. Number 1. Siwa. If you intend to escape the hustle and the bustle of urban life while you're in Egypt, Siwa is here for you with an escape plan. Siwa is like a small oasis town located at the heart of the desert, with lakes and palm trees. Siwa is home to a stone pool known as Cleopatra's Bath, and several other historical sites that are definitely worth checking out. Exploring the streets of Shali Fortress is a great way to enjoy the site of the mosque, with the beautiful mud minaret near the old town, and also entries free. You might also want to climb the hill behind the fortress and experience some breathtaking views of the old town. If you love nature and you want to see some of the world's most beautiful landscapes, then make sure you don't miss the Siwa Oasis. This hidden gem is filled with freshwater springs, saltwater lakes, lush vegetation, and just stunning scenery. It's also an ideal place for hiking or camping. The lakes are in the form of small pools of saline water that allows you to float like a cork. If you have the time, take a stroll through acres of olive groves and palm gardens. So, what are your thoughts on all these destinations? Please share it with us in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Got a lot of content coming your way, so stay tuned. See you in the next one, and goodbye. Yeah, smooth.